Hello and welcome to the channel. Thanks for joining us. Today we're going to talk about a very important subject. The subject is self-worth. So let's get right into it. Okay, so let's try and tackle this from what I've got established here. We've got self-worth at the core of who we are. Okay. And then we go out into the world and we have these experiences, and some of them can be very traumatizing. Your neighbor could call you an idiot. Your neighbor's parents might kind of agree with their child. And there you go. You've got your first experience. Now, what happens with these traumas and experiences is they become like a feedback loop. Your worth is what it is. You go out into the world with that worth. That the world shows you if you're tracking, if you're on the right path, and then you reinform your worth and your experiences all kind of confirm upon each other. So that's what happens, and then that kind of creates who are you, because what you believe about yourself at the core is really like who you are, right? So then we have in this final thing, how do you show up in the world knowing who you are based on these experiences and traumas you've had, based on the self-worth that you've established for yourself. So that's great. Okay, well, where do the problems start? Well, there are people out there who have shyness, right? You have discomfort around people. That's what really shyness is. It's discomfort. You don't feel like you can speak. You feel like inhibited. It's really could be detrimental to someone's experience, because you're not really allowed to live freely and plainly. You kind of like put yourself in this small little place and you live in it. Okay. Anxiety can show up in all forms. Low confidence, nervousness, insecurity. Now, these things become a big problem when it comes to dating or a job interview, because the person at the other end of the table is evaluating you based on what they perceive to be your worth. So if you're in question about what your worth is, they're coming into question as to what it is. So if you experience nervousness, insecurity, low confidence, anxiety, it probably means back at the center here, you don't really believe in what's going on here. You don't believe at the core you're worth enough. So other people calling it into question now makes it a question like, do I actually have self-worth? Do I really believe in myself at my core? So this is why it's such a big problem, why we see so many people coping with drugs and alcohol and distractions and televisions, because nobody really talks about this. Nobody really says, if you're like nervous, be like, oh, just, think about something positive, or imagine the person you're talking to isn't wearing pants. Okay, well, that's great. But like, how is that actually going to change at the core of your being, how you feel about yourself? Not going to. So the good news is there is hope in all of this. You can improve your self-worth. It is not a static thing. It's constantly being updated and revised. I work out my self-worth like you would work out muscles in the gym. I do self-talk training. I use audios every day. You can also go in through another way. You can actually go back into your traumatic experiences that probably inform how you're showing up in the world today. You can go back and neutralize those things. Those traumatic experiences probably caused the narrative. Now, how you're showing up in the world is probably a reflection of that narrative. So now you're showing up insecure to a job interview, because that experience dictated this, which now dictates this. Again, this is a big feedback loop. So you can go back in at any point and renegotiate all of this. All of this can be changed and moved into a positive direction. And I've heard it spoken, and I would probably agree that like the quality of your self-worth is the quality of your life. If this is garbage, you're going to go out and look for garbage opportunities, garbage people, garbage jobs that are going to prove that you don't have this. So you might as well start working on this self-worth, because it will reflect in every aspect of your life. You'll choose better relationships. You'll seek more fulfilling, better work. Everything you do will be on a higher level. So I really feel like this is job one if you're into growth because if your self-worth isn't a rock, there are ways to get it that way. And I've been on my self-talk journey for about a year and a half. I was exposed to it through a friend who has amazing, amazing self-worth. Her father was a professional athlete and instilled the self-talk programming into her from her childhood. So she doesn't even understand that people don't have good confidence or might not have good self-worth. It's so natural and organic to her because she grew up that way that it's just part of who she is. So I'm having a conversation when I learned about this, and I was like, oh yeah, no, I don't think most people are like you. She was incredible in that respect. So since that time, I've been doing the self-talk. I've been working through the traumas and always working through traumas. And I've seen insane improvements in how I feel about myself, how I esteem myself, how I show up in the world, all of it. So there is hope. That's what this video is all about. It's not doom and gloom. You don't need drugs, antidepressants, or maybe you do. This isn't supposed to be diagnostic. I am not a medical practitioner, but I do think working on this can pay you insane dividends. So good luck with that. If you have any questions, drop some comments. And I'm going to be starting to do more videos on this because I feel like it's something that a lot of people don't talk about, and it's so very important. Thanks for joining us. I'll see you on the next video.